So go ahead and write down this. This is 6.4, 75, 16. Y'all got it down? 6.4, 75, 16. 6.4, 75, 16. And that looks like a good test question. Yes, it is. Very good test question. Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I thought, when I gave you the remote, you would turn it on, but that's okay. I guess I expect too much.
Sorry. I'm not good at that. See, I got the other side of it.
Pointed at the screen. What? All right, that is a good test question because it has different things, different denominators, and I'm not going to give you one on your test with the same denominator. Sorry. Yeah, some people still get it wrong.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
I think I should have cooked my biscuits a little bit more.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
So, write down, man, please. Is this one a expression or an equation? expression. So are we going to solve it, or are we just going to simplify it? Simplify. So again, you need to make yourself aware of that, because in 6.6 and 6.7, you need to distinguish between the two. So, common denominator is x plus 1 times x what? X plus 5. What's missing here?
X plus 5.
So that'd be 3x plus 6 times x plus 5 plus, and I'm going to put that in brackets because that first set of brackets refers to this. And then what's missing here?
X plus 1.
So that's x plus 7 times x plus 1 minus brackets. And what's missing here? Nothing, so you just bring down 5x plus 17. Now make sure you understand what I just did, because I don't want you to get confused, because I did put everything over one denominator. And I took out the baby step. So if you need the baby step, we'll put it in there. Let me just put it over here. Let me take the red marker, and that will be x plus 1 times x plus 5, you're right, over 1. Really? And baby step is in there now. Three x plus 6 over x plus 1 plus x plus 7 over x plus 5 equals, or minus, sorry, 5x plus 17 over x plus 1, x plus 5. Take your blue marker, and what are you going to do now? What happens here? X plus 1 cancels, and you're left with that. Cancel this out, and you're left with that. This whole thing cancels, and you're left with that. Okay? Now just do the algebra. Three x squared, let's see, 15 and 21x plus 30. Y'all check me. 3x squared plus 21x plus 30 plus x squared plus 8x plus 7, check me, minus 5x minus 17, all over common denominator. What? Where?
21x.
15x and 6x.
Okay.
Pay attention, please. All right, 3x squared plus x squared is what? 4x squared.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, that's all right. I've already written it all for the class. 21x minus, or 21x plus 8x is 29x. Minus 5x is 24x. And then 30 plus 7 is 37. Minus 17 is 20. Y'all check me. X plus 1, x plus 5. Yes, ma'am.
Is it, where'd you get the?
Well, how'd you get that? That, you know what that translates? You done something wrong. What? Where?
The minus 17, it was a plus 17. So did it translate? Okay, that's where you get that. Okay. I'm sorry. Step back.
That's all right. Now, I'm going to take this and take it over to the next page just to see if we can do anything with it. I don't know. Okay. Thank you. And we're going to go to a white page. And there it is. Now what up top can I do? Factor out a common term. So that'd be 4, and that'd be x squared plus 6x plus 5. That looks like you can factor that. I don't know. X plus 1, x plus 5. Oh my. Looks like what happens to these two? They cancel. If you want to do this, you can either factor this or you can use the FOIL method here. What will that give you here? 4 x squared plus 6x plus 5 over x squared plus what?
6x.
Oh yeah, this is a test question. Because I like the way this one ends up. Yep, you can bet your bottom dollar. If I can find one of those, I'm going to put it on the test.
Why don't you just put that exact one?
Because somebody still missed it, and that would piss me off.
I wouldn't have fixed it in my notes.
You want to bet me?
Yeah.
I'll bet you lunch. Okay?
Lunch.
You got to take everybody out if
Oh,
you lose.
Yeah, because my fiance would kill me. Let's not do that.
Because he had to pay for everybody.
Yeah. He'd be angry. But he never got actually.
Why is there a bill here for $150?
Yeah. Yeah,
All right. That is a very good problem. So, let's see what the answer is. So y'all at least know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. There we go. The answer is 4. So you should feel good about yourself. You got it right. If you didn't get it right, just mark it up as a disappointment and discouragement. And you should probably drop the class. So similar exercise, I'll give you a similar one to do. I mean, you don't have to do it now, but there's a similar one right there. Ooh, that one's got more negatives. I like that one. Let's do that one because it's got more negatives. There's two things that we love in math, negatives and fractions. Did she say Vanna? Did you say Vanna?
Actually,
Her name is Vanna. When she has the remote, she transitions from Alexis to Vanna.
See, we were sitting there, and I was like,
They
I
didn't
really
know
honestly
it.
don't know y'all's names. And you kept throwing me off on everyone's names, and I couldn't pick them up. And I was like, how do you say his name? I called him Surgeon, but I was like, oh, it's Cyril. I felt bad when I like
Each of my classes, since I don't know how long, has had a Vanna. Each one of my classes, there's a Vanna. And it's usually the person that is sitting in this direction or in the other room, 236. In that direction, it's usually the person that sits on the first or second row in those two directions, depending on what class I'm in. So if we had started in this class, it would be that seat, or that seat, somewhere in there. It's usually the Vanna. I will not make a guy a Vanna because they won't show up half the time, and they won't listen. So I don't want to call man Vanna because then people think my door is swinging the other way or something. I don't know. What was that?
That was to the problem.
That was,
I was growling at the problem.
I got sick last semester. It was on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, early. And my son has never seen me worship the porcelain goddess before. And it was early. I went in there and he was with me that week. And he jumped out of bed and said, "Daddy, what's wrong?" I said, "I'm sick." And then I started, that urge hit me to worship the porcelain. Anyway,
No.
he took off running. I mean, how do you feel if you're sitting there worshiping the porcelain goddess and your son takes off running? I said, "Daddy, you sounded like you were possessed." I said, "That's what people sound like when they're worshiping the porcelain goddess."
I had to listen to that Friday night. My fiance was so drunk he puked, and I was sitting in the car, and he was outside the car, and he shut the door, and he was puking. And I was like sitting there trying not to puke. I was like, oh, it was horrible. I looked
Well,
at him
just
and I
do what
said,
my
"You
son
weren't
did.
there."
He just took off running. All I saw was him running out the door.
Would've, but I kind of was in the car. Yeah, I looked at him and I could.
I just thought it
never-
was funny.
never. He's like, I'm never doing that again.
That's what everybody says.
He should have listened to me because I knew he was.
And that usually lasts for a couple of days.
I hope so. It lasts for a while because I ain't doing that again. I'll leave him. Leave him at his sister's house. He can puke there.
How old are you?
20. I wasn't drinking.
No, I'm not talking about that.
He's older than I am.
Men should not get married until they're 35. It should be in the Constitution.
We've been together for 6 years.
I don't care.
I think we've seen all our.
Men should not get married until they're 35. Women, it doesn't matter, but men should not get married until they're
Why do you
35.
say 35?
Because they're out of their stupidity.
That's like
Usually men
another-
start growing. Notice I said most men. Most men. I'm not talking about the guys that still cruise them all at 40. Most men start growing out of their stupidity around 35 to 38.
Yeah, I don't see. I was thinking 25.
Huh?
I thought it was 25.
No, 25 men are still stupid.
He's 20.
Most men are still stupid. They're either ultra caveman or they just stupid.
He's, I don't think stupid, but
You don't know what stupid is.
I do know what stupid is.
No, not men. Not with men.
I have 2 brothers. I know
Men,
what stupid
okay,
is.
well then you ought to know how men can be stupid. Predictably stupid, and stupid meaning they don't think about women, and stupid meaning that they think they are the masters of the universe.
Yeah.
And they don't start growing out of that until they're about 35 to 38. But you still have 2%, 5% that cruise them all at 40 and hang out at bars until 9 o'clock. And spend half their retirement on toys that they can't afford. and take their savings account or their house payment and go out to the local bars and tip the waitress hundreds of dollars when they can't afford it just because they're trying to be something they're not.
It would be massive if they did it.
That is just pitiful. Don't know, I know some people like that. And, in fact, I've told one, I said, I hope you're not going to do this the rest of your life because you're going to be pathetic.
I can see you doing that.
Doing what?
Calling someone out and calling them back.
Oh, yeah.
Playing video games with you. Yeah.
Listen,
Do you not play video games?
I went ice skating one time and spent all my money on video games, okay? And I didn't have money to buy supper on the way back home, okay? That was when I was like 13, 14 years old. Asteroids. Man, I was the king of asteroids, okay? I love video games. I can sit in front of a computer and play video games all day long. But as Paul said, when you grow up, you put away childish things. And when you get a family and you're supposed to put away childish things. But some men don't realize that until they get 35 to 38. And by then it's too late because their wife or girlfriend's done left them. And they're out hanging out at the bars until 9 o'clock. So that, and every able-bodied person that graduates high school should spend 1 year in a third world country in the Red Cross, missionary field, Peace Corps, or military. And the third change to the Constitution is the Commander-in-Chief has to have served in the military before he can be president. He or she can be president. That's the three changes I would make to the Constitution. What would y'all what changes would y'all make?
Nah, never did.
Okay, then everybody would be stupid.
Well, I don't know about the military, because some people can't go in the military.
I didn't say military. I didn't say military.
Okay.
I said Red Cross, missionary field.
One of those.
Yeah, because I think it's important for somebody in America to realize how good America is.
Yeah.
And you can't realize that when you're under mom and daddy's credit card.
Yeah.
I think you should have a job.
Yeah.
Like,
I do.
my parents didn't require me to have a job.
Mhm.
Like, it was like optional.
Yeah.
And so like, but my friends at college that had a job,
Mhm.
like, are way more mature than like, I mean, than me. Like, I feel.
And they know more. They
Yeah,
know
it's
more
just
about
like
real
they-
life.
Yeah, they can budget better. Like, I like blew money when I was in college,
Mhm.
and so they were way more mature than that.
Well, at least you're smart enough to admit that. Some people wouldn't admit it.
Girl.
You know.
But, yeah.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things that could help our teenagers when they get out of high school. All right. Oh, this is too much. Let's just quit.
Hey, no,
The answer is
it's not.
5.
The answer is 5. Okay.
Is it really?
Let's-
That's what I got.
Help me out, Hannah. Work with me.
I don't. Here you go.
She's not
No,
drinking.
no.
Drink it. I was just like, here's my work. I don't want to tell you that.
Oh, let me see.
I think we should just quit. This is one of those problems you should erase half of it. Like erase like this one, and then you can just work with
I
this.
don't know, it's on the right track right here.
All right, now I'm not going to put a baby step in this one.
No.
I'm going to show you a trick of learning the war. Just write down the common denominator right here. And then say this multiplied by what's missing, x plus 3,
I put more.
plus x plus 4 times what's missing, x plus 5, minus, parentheses, negative 17x minus 49. See, that's the way you can do it without doing the baby step. Of course, now that you've done the baby step about 5 or 6 times, you should be able to transition from the baby step to this times what's missing, plus this times what's missing, minus this. What?
Nothing, keep going, because I feel pretty smart right now.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, let's knock the wind out of your sails.
I doubt that.
All right, 4x squared. 4 times 3 is 12, be 14x plus 6 plus x squared plus 9x plus 20 plus 17x plus 49 over common denominator. Then 4x squared plus x squared is 5x squared. 14x plus 9x is 23x. 23x plus 17 is 40x. And 6 plus 20 is 26, plus 50 is 76, minus 1 is 75. Some of you are going, where did you get 50 from? I don't know. Where's the 6 cent? What's the 6 cent for? Okay, so 6 plus 20 plus 50 minus 1. And that goes out. I did that one time and a student goes, light bulb went on. I was like, 12 years of school and the light bulb just went on. So a lot about our public school system. All right, what's in common here? X squared plus 8x plus, I have no idea, 15 over x plus 5 times x plus 3, and that comes out, oops,
So that's 5.
and these two do what? And the answer is, as Banner would say, 5. 5.
I feel pretty smart.
You feel good? I feel good.
I got that right.
Okay, so now everybody, including Miss Ward, who is watching on video, it has 2 problems, and those two good test problems. I put both of them on the test, so hopefully y'all fail. Okay? Y'all still miss it.
No,
Are we going to discuss the test?
Yeah, we got to finish up.
yeah.
We got to finish up. I want to look, and Miss Turner's got to leave. So what I want to do is I want to look through, and she can look at the video later, but I want to go through some of the problems that I would put on the test. Now, we done went through the work problem, and we were finishing up the problem from yesterday. We'll finish that one, and then I'll say what I like for the test.
Now, I have a question.
I'm not answering questions right now.
What is all the homework going to be due? Like on
Before the test starts.
Obviously.
That's what
I know. Obviously.
took that thing.
Right?
I usually post the test, and then I post termination. So usually it falls on that midnight. So you can pretty much rest assured today is the last day of teaching sections. So that means you've got 1 day of review, which is tomorrow. So chances are test will be posted tomorrow or the next day, and homework will be terminated at midnight of whenever I post the test. So you're talking maybe tomorrow night at midnight, or maybe what's today?
Wednesday.
Tomorrow night at midnight or Thursday night at midnight, probably somewhere in there. Depends on how many questions I get tomorrow.
You're going to get a ton.
I know that. I mean, that's given.
I haven't done much homework.
I haven't done much homework, but I'm going to go ahead and send you questions to slow you down so you will give us more time to do homework. I know how it works.
No, really, I have
Yeah, there you go.
I have my DNA test Saturday.
You have your DNA test. Okay.
DNA.
All right.
I know who I belong
You going to be on Maury or what? Okay.
I'm not kidding.
So 20 over x plus 20 over x plus 9 is equal to 1. I think we were at that point. And this is when they ask you how long will it take each person to do the problem. And I think we had gotten to right about here. I think I was using X, that's not a big deal. So, 20 over X plus 20 over X plus 9, which is the sorry guy, he's worthless, is equal to 1. And multiply through by X times X plus 9. X times X plus 9 over 1. And that's going to give us 20 over X, 20 over X plus 9, and 1. And we're going to take our red marker and we're going to put in X times X plus 9 over 1 and plus X times X plus 9 over 1 equals X times X plus 9 over 1. And of course the X's cancel, and you're left with 20 times X plus 9. 20 times X plus 9. The X plus 9's cancel, and you're left with 20X. I think this is where I left off. Is equal to X times X plus 9. And that's going to give you 20X plus 180 plus 20X is equal to X squared plus 9X. Now at this point, you got to think about organization. Okay, just forget about the algebra right now and think about organization. You need to move some stuff around before you even get started. If it ain't broke,
Don't fix it.
so is that X squared broke?
No.
Leave it alone. So that means we got to bring all of this over here. And the student can have a heart attack because we're putting X on the right hand side. So 0 is equal to X squared plus 9X minus 20X minus 20X minus 180. And yes, you can combine and then take over. I don't care. It doesn't matter. 0 is equal to X squared CLT, which means what? Combine like terms, common like terms, or combine like terms, depending on what words you're using. Negative 20, negative 40. Negative 40 plus 9 is negative what? 31? And we're going to bust this up. X. And dang on 180. Let's see. Let's see. 180. That's not going to help us. 2 and 90. That's not going to help us. How do you know, Hubert? Well, 92 and 88. You need a what? So you can do this in your head because A is equal to 1. This is 1, so it's an easy factoring. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go up into the bigger numbers because I got to get two numbers that's going to give me. So I like 6 and 15. I don't know if that's right or not. 6 and 30. 6 times 3 is, 6 times 3 is 18, right? So I go 6 and 30. And then I think to myself, well, no, that'll give us 36 and what? 24? So that won't work. But we do know that 30 is divisible by more numbers. So maybe you could take, divide this by 2. You can, just chill. Okay, that's 15. And then you could divide 15 into that, which would be like 12 times, because 2 times 6 is 12. I don't know, 12 times 15, and play with the numbers because you want a 31. 31 remember, it's 15 and 6, or not 31, 26 and 5. So what numbers do you come up with? You said you knew.
5 and 36.
36. Yeah, that will work. 5 and 36. Good. So 5 and 36. Let's see if it works. Negative means the 36 is negative. Yep, that works. So our possible answers are -5 and positive what? 36. So let's go back to our original equation. -5 and 36. Oops. -5 and 36. Will that work? Yes, -5 and 36 will work. But what's the problem with -5? Why? What are we dealing with here? Something that never can be messed with. And what is that? Huh? No, time. Time cannot be messed with. So therefore, it'd be nice if we could have negative time, wouldn't it? Then all the ladies in here would never get over 21 years old. Right? Or 29. Some women think they are teenagers. Have y'all seen those yet? If you haven't, go to a dance recital. You'll see them.
I can't stand the women that,
The moms still think they're 18 years old.
we have a teacher, I can't stand women that dress like, never mind.
Some women can pull it off though. Some women, I'll be honest with you. Now, are we talking about 90% of the population of women? No, we're talking about maybe 10, 15% of the population can pull off dressing younger than they are.
No, I'm not talking like younger, I'm talking something
You're talking about the other,
else.
another, yeah.
that one. You got the camera on, okay?
I think it's pretty sad when you go to a dance recital and the moms are trying to dress like the daughters. Yeah, that too. So anyway, that has to do with negative time. Unfortunately, we cannot do negative time, even though there's some mothers that think they can. So your answer is what? 36. So x is equal to 36. So it takes the girl, which is locked and cocked, it takes her 36 hours. But the El Stupido, what's his name, takes him what? 45 hours. Why? Because you have to add 9 because he's not too bright. And you feel good about yourself. Huh? No, not right now. I'm trying to discourage you as much as possible. All right. The other one I want you to learn how to do is motion problems. Now, let's look at this problem. Now, before we even start with motion problems, I'm going to cover something that you should put to memory and that you should keep to memory no matter if you fail this course or not. All of you will fail. Distance
Fine.
is equal to rate times what? Time. That is something that you need to remember because you can solve it for. Now, okay, I know this is recorded and I know that some people will have a fit when I say this, especially physics people. Rate is the same thing as what? Hurry up and raise that. Okay. Because if a physics person sees that, they might have a connection and come through the video. All right. So distance equals rate times time. Huh? So I could solve it for time. Time is equal. Is equal to distance what? Divided by rate. I could say rate is equal to what? Distance divided by time. So you've got three formulas there. You can find the distance, you can find the time, and you can find the rate. Very important formula. You ever been talking about traveling before?
Yeah.
And you ever been in a group of people, like 4 or 5 people, and you talk about, let's say Panama City, that's where I love to go. I love to go to Panama City. I like to see my feet in the ocean. Before something eats me, I like to see what's going to eat me. And in Myrtle Beach, you don't have that luxury because the water is dirty. Anyway, it's nasty. Okay, so I go down Panama City, it takes about 8 hours. Boom! As soon as you say that, there's going to be a guy, usually.
Well, it takes me 6.
It's going to take me 6 seconds.
What?
Yep, their car goes the speed of light. And it's usually a guy. You never hear a woman say that. You never hear a woman, well, golly, Brad, it only takes me 6.5 hours to get to Panama City. You never heard a woman say that. Thus, men should not get married until they're 35. Because they can travel the speed of light. Even though we cannot travel the speed of light, which is called warp 1, we cannot do that yet. But there are guys that can travel the speed of light because they can go 2 hours less no matter what you go, no matter where you go. Takes me 16 hours to get to Dallas, Texas. Oh, it will take me 12 and a half. There is always a guy in the group that will say that he can travel 2-3 hours faster than you can. What keeps y'all from getting killed on the interstate? A 1/2 inch of rubber or a 3/8 inch brake line. Don't travel speed of light because that's the only thing keeping you from death on the interstate. A 3/8 inch rubber brake line and a 1/2 inch of rubber between you and asphalt. That can go out at any time. So, guys, you don't need to travel 186,000 miles per second. But anyway, I just thought that's always a good story to tell because there's always a guy that can travel 2 hours quicker than anybody on the face of the earth. And it's never a woman, it's always a guy. All right, so why am I showing you this? Because that top formula is how you set up these problems with motion. Now, and they should say that somewhere in here. It says, on her road bike, Olivia bikes 5 kilometers faster than Jason. Anybody see a pattern yet?
No.
It's always the women that can go faster. It's always the woman that can work more efficiently. And the man is drunk in a corner somewhere. Okay? Olivia bikes 5 kilometers faster than Jason does on his mountain bike. In the time it takes Olivia to travel 50 kilometers, Jason travels 40 kilometers. Find the speed of each cyclist. All right, the first thing you should do when you do a problem with motion is you should get your handy dandy whiteboard up and you should draw a box. Distance equals rate times time. And of course, name it Jody and Susie. Jody represents the guy. I don't know how to spell Jody. Masculine, I guess it's with a Y. I don't know. And Susie. Okay, in this problem, we've got Olivia 5 kilometers an hour faster. So what would that be? 5 kilometers per hour faster. What is that? 5 miles per hour, 5 kilometers per hour. What is that? That's rate, isn't it? So in the rate box, Olivia 5 miles per hour faster. So that means that Jody is going to go X or R. Okay? So Jody is going R. And of course, the efficient Susie is going to be going what? R plus 5. So in the R column, Jody is just going R because he's not very good. And Susie is R plus 5. So let's go back to the problem. What else does it? Well, let's do this right quick. Let's take our handy dandy marker and let's mark out what we've just used. And we don't need to care about any of this. All right. In the time it takes Susie to travel, what? And that is, Vanna said, or somebody said, distance. So Jody travels 40 and Susie travels 50. So you take up your whiteboard and Jody travels 40 and Susie travels 50. Now let's see what else we got. If we got anything else in the formula, let's see, in the time. So that goes out. You don't need that anymore. Find the speed of each cyclist, a bicyclist, or whatever. I thought they were called cyclists. What's the difference between a cyclist and a bicyclist? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whatever. Okay. I don't know. Do they use? Do they use a handy dandy? Look at there. Look at there. What are they using? They're smart. So, let's go back to our formulas that we used. We want to find what? What are they asking for? Did they say speed? Oh, they should say what is the rate. That they should say the rate. But anyway, let's go back to our handy dandy. There it is. Which one is rate? Distance over what? Distance over time. Well, we know that T is time. Yeah, T is time. You put a T here and a T here. And that's probably what they did. Or they 40 over R. You could do that right here. T is equal to 40 over R, which is what we said. All right? So here's the Jody is 40 over R. And the way we know that, 40 is distance over R. Let's go back here. 40 over R. Distance over what? R. See there? 40 over R equals what? Time. Alright, so let's take it back right here. So time is equal to distance over what? Over rate. So 40 over R and 50 over R plus 5. Now, with each of your motion problems, you're going to set two equations up to each other. Now, we said that speed was equal to what? So put distance over time is equal to distance over time. Distance over rate. Same thing. You're going to get the same thing. So 40 over R is equal to 50 over r plus 5. And that's your setup. These two equal to each other. Have a good day, Ms. Turner. So, 40 over r is equal to 50 over r plus 5. So, what's missing here? R plus 5. So 40 times r plus 5. What's missing here?
R.
50r. So that's going to be 40r plus 200 is equal to 50r. Which one am I going to move, the 50r or the 40r? 40r to keep the variable what?
Positive.
Positive. So move the 40r over. So 200 is equal to, oh my gosh, I don't know if we can do this or not. Let's see, you might need to get your calculators out. So how fast is Susie going?
20 miles per hour.
I'm sorry, she's going 25 miles per hour. And how fast is, sorry, Jody going? Jody's going 20. And of course Susie's going 25 because she's a better athlete. That's how you do those problems.
That made so much more sense.
Then what?
My last
That's because I am awesome. These two are usually, most of the time when you're going to find the rate or the speed, these two are going to be equal to each other. Comprende? All right, let's look and see. I know what time it is, so we're going to look at one more problem. And then while y'all are working on the problem, this one. Now, what's the difference in this problem than the other problem? This problem, the vehicle has a little help. Why? How do I know that? Because anytime you're dealing with a river or air, what are you dealing with? A current or a headwind or a tailwind? Now you could have a headwind or a tailwind on a biker, but usually when you're talking about air, you're talking about a plane, you're talking about a boat, you're talking about a current. So those two problems are going to be done the same way. So a Hudson River tugboat goes 10 miles per hour in still water. That's like a swimming pool. And it travels 24 miles upstream. So we need to draw a picture of this. So I'm going to take my tool. We're not going to use that word. And we're going to take that out. What'd you say? I didn't hear you. That's all right. And I'm going to put it in here so y'all can look at it. And we're going to draw a picture. Oh shoot. I didn't. Where does it save it? Does it save it in pictures? Yeah, thank you. I usually save it in downloads. Alright, there's the question. And we're going to draw a picture. And I'm going to draw a picture of a river. And that river is going in this direction. All right, so I want you to tell me what direction is upstream and what direction is downstream. Well, we're going to say this is what?
Upstream.
if the river's going this way, what is this? Downstream. No, the correct word is der.
Oh, whatever.
Der. Hello. Hello. Praise the Lord. Who is that? Medea. Der. Hello. All right. And this way would be what? If you're going against the current. Y'all are so smart.
Thank you.
All right, now we can draw our picture. The Hudson River tugboat goes 10 miles per hour in still water. That's okay. We'll get to that later. It travels 24 miles upstream. So, river tugboat travels 24 miles this way. And 24 miles back. It travels this way 24 miles. Okay, some of y'all are already thinking about what? No, not quitting, but that's a good thought. I'm glad you're thinking about quitting because it's always good to think about your alternatives, and that's a good alternative to quit. But other than that, what should you be thinking of? Distance equals what? Distance equals rate. Y'all tell me what the distance is. So these two equations are going to be equal to each other based on what? The distance. Because it goes 24 miles upstream and what? Okay, so that's out. Total of what? Okay, it travels 24 miles upstream and 24 miles back in a total time of what? So it travels 24 miles upstream and 24 miles. So technically you could say what about the time? 5 halves?
5 halves, is that what you said?
Yeah. Wouldn't this be 5 halves? Would this time be 5 halves? This time would be 5 halves? Take 5 and divide it by what? 2 and half? But we'll come back to that. What about the Hudson River tugboat goes 10 miles per hour? What is that?
I'll throw you off.
10 miles per hour.
So it's the rate speed.
Is there a current? Does it say anything about the current? What does it say about the current? Okay, so that's what you're trying to find. So, we're going to call this guy upstream, and we're going to call this guy downstream. Now, tell me what is going to be the rate of the boat if you have a current, upstream and downstream. What's going to be the formula for the upstream rate, and what's going to be the downstream formula? What's the current doing on both of them? Trying to get you the point.
The down, if you're going downstream, it'll speed up faster.
Okay, all right, faster. What's faster, minus or plus?
Plus.
So this will be 10 plus what? We'll call it C. How about C? And what would upstream be?
Negative.
10 minus C. Now, the T can be a little misleading, the way they have it written. Where's the next page? Oh, we gotta hit this one.
Because they already said it was 5.
There it is.
5 hours.
Look there. The time is going to be, what is time? Time is equal to, distance equals rate times time. So time is equal to distance divided by what? Rate. So take your distance and divide it by the rate. Go back to your handy dandy. Take your distance and divide it by what?
10.
So that'd be 24 divided by 10 minus C. And 24 divided by what?
10 plus C.
And now, you can pretty much set these two equal to each other. So, 24 over 10 minus C equals 24 over what? So 24, 10 plus C equals 24, 10 minus C. Take off. I'll take the roll. Hit freeze for me right quick. Thank you, ma'am. Everybody's here today except for Miss Dujigger. Miss Ward is not here. And Mr. Snyder is not here. Who else is not here today? Is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Miss Burdette. She is a loser. Miss Burdette needs to get to class. And submit. Now, there's one other thing that I forgot to tell you before we start solving this. The 5 is still part of the problem. Let me ask you a question. Which one are the total distance is what? I mean, the total time that it took is what? 5 hours. That still should be a thorn in your side. All right? You've got to take these two problems and somehow equal 5 hours. So what can you do? Unfreeze it, please. What can you do with these two guys and have it equal to 5? Well, think about what these two are doing to each other. Okay, that's not what I'm asking. If you go 24 upstream and you go 24 downstream and it takes you 5 hours to do both, what are you going to do to these two guys? Add it. So you're going to take this guy, add it to this guy, or this guy, add it to this guy, and that's going to equal what? 5 hours. That 5 hours was bothering me. So I got a little bit ahead of myself. So I'm going to multiply through by 10 plus C, 10 minus C, and that's going to give us the same thing, 24, 10 plus C, plus 24, 10 minus C is equal to a whole bunch. 5 times 10 minus C times 10 plus C, which is shortcut number what? Shortcut number 3, Hubert, exactly. So that's going to be 500 minus 5C squared. Y'all check me on that. So 240 plus 24C plus 240 minus 24C is equal to 500 minus 5C squared. What's wrong with that negative 5C squared? What do you want to do with that? We'll bring it over here. So 5C squared minus 500 plus 240 plus 24C plus 240 minus 24C is equal to 0. And what happens to the 24C? And then we've got 240 and 240 is 480. Minus 500 plus 480 is minus 20. Sounds about right, Hubert. Thank you, class. Get your calculators out and check me. What's negative 500 plus 480? Should be negative 20. So that's 5C squared is equal to 20. C squared is equal to 4. C is equal to positive or negative what? So what is the speed of the current? 2 miles per hour. So the speed of the current is 2 miles per hour. I'm sorry, rate of the current, but anyway. Speed of current is 2 miles per hour. And you feel good about yourself. Okay. That's that.